What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football. We just came off another exciting round of the Champions League quarterfinals. Jack, what a first, what a couple first leg. There's one first leg that was a bit, but the rest of
Yeah.
them were like great overall. But again, let's get into the first one game that we're going to talk about. Game on Tuesday, Liverpool versus Benfica. Liverpool going away to Benfica and winning 3-1. Jack, how do you think the game went? And overall, do you think the tie's done?
Yeah, I do think the tie is done totally. I'll be honest. Second leg, we did this in our predictions. It's at Anfield. They could be playing Man City, Bayern, Real Madrid, Chelsea, you name it. I'm still taking Liverpool if the second leg is going to be at Anfield. I'm going to do that for the rest of the tournament, up until the final, especially the way they're playing right now. Unbelievable. Couple of quick notes from me. Yeah, I think the tie's over. Like I said, it felt like a really important goal for Ibrahima Konate. I don't know why, but I got the kind of a guttural feeling that he really kind of grew into himself as a Liverpool player after he scored that header. I'm not saying it's the most important header or even most important goal of his career, but it felt like a little bit like he'd really arrived as a Liverpool football player. I've not felt totally convinced that he's the guy to partner Virgil van Dijk now, but for some reason that goal really kind of certified to me that here he is, he's here to stay. And I know that he'll obviously be judged on his defensive attributes, not his goal scoring, but it felt like a big goal. James Lewis-Diaz is the real deal. I don't think that's a hot take at all, and I think that you and everybody else in the world would agree with me. But yeah, this tie's over. I'm happy with the way Liverpool played. It was plucky from Benfica. I think they probably surprised a couple of people. Maybe the scoreline doesn't reflect how the game went, but I think overall there's only going to be one winner over the two legs.
You say Jack said this word that I've heard in so many Liverpool games right here. The scoreline doesn't reflect the game, but Liverpool's
Right,
quality is that they don't need to play well, and then they'll still get great results like they did it in the last 16 against
right.
Inter Milan away from home at the San Siro. And to me, it was just like that today. The first 35 minutes, Liverpool could have blew them away.
Yes,
They were just absolutely brilliant. I said this: Liverpool's transition from no matter what area it is, rather it's in their own half or like high up in the opposition's box. Their transition to hit a team on the counter attack and also force a chance and force a forward pass is unreal. And we see that from
yes.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. What a pass! Luis Diaz, great decision, goal. Again,
Yep.
fair play to Benfica. What's it called again? The Benfica striker Nunes. He's a
Hmm.
serious problem, and
Yes, yeah,
I'm going to see a lot of teams in Europe looking around for this guy because again,
for
there's a
sure.
lack of top strikers there, and he's proven that he can score goals in the Champions League. So you're going to see a lot of guys snooping around him then. But for all Benfica's pressure, they had chances to even make it 2-2.
Hmm.
Liverpool just shows what they do is that
Yeah,
if you don't take your chances against this Liverpool team, they're going to hurt you at the other end. And to me, it's the exact same thing. But one thing I also get from that, Jack, Liverpool are getting contributions from everywhere. Because
yes,
yes, it was Luis Diaz that scored the goal, but they were able to take off Thiago Alcantara and a bunch of players on, and then the player who's had a 50-50 Liverpool career comes on and gets an assist in Naby Keita. So it just shows you right now, Jack, no matter who it is, they're gonna come on and make a contribution. And this Liverpool team, this train keeps on rolling, and it rolls on to Saturday for them. Now let's talk about their opponents, Jack. Yeah, and like the other team in the in the title in the Premier League title race, Manchester City. Now they were at home to Atletico Madrid. They get a 1-0 victory, Jack, and it's a weird one because Diego Simeone came out for a lot of criticism on his approach towards the game. But Jack,
right.
how did you feel about this whole game? And is this tie over with that late goal from Kevin De Bruyne?
I don't think it's necessarily over. I'm not going to rule out Atletico Madrid or Diego Simeone. I also want to ask anybody criticizing Diego Simeone, what do you want him to do? Seriously, what do you want him to do? Antoine Griezmann over the hill, João Felix, no idea why you signed the guy in the first place. Always a strong team defensively, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, kind of a workman-like midfield. I think we knew the direction Atletico Madrid were going to go in when Saul Niguez decided to leave to go on loan at Chelsea, to know where this Atletico Madrid team was going. You're going against Pep Guardiola, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and all that fantastic list of names and players that they have from back to front in that whole team. This is exactly what he was going to do. No shots, No, I'm not surprised at all. Less than 30% possession? No, I'm not surprised at all. I think to a certain extent, Diego Simeone might actually look at a 1-0 loss at the Etihad and actually take that as a positive. I'm sure he would have preferred a 0-0, but I think he might even look at a 1-0 and be relatively pleased with that, going back to the Wanda Metropolitano. Yes, it's not pretty, but again, this is a results-based game. Do we want to see an exciting game where they go back to the Wanda Metropolitano with a 3-goal deficit? I don't think so. I don't think that's what Diego Simeone wants at all. We know what he's going to do. He's better at it, arguably, than anybody else in the world. And the Wanda Metropolitano, James, this is going to be a 1-goal game for a very, very long time, unless Man City can pull something out. Again, I think they have the star power to push them over the edge, unlike Manchester United did in the previous round. But yeah, people need to lay off Diego Simeone, right? They can play some expansive football against Cadiz and Espanyol and whatever, but against Manchester City, this is the only way they can play.
Jack, let me just read off a few stats from the game. So Manchester City had 15 shots, Atletico Madrid had 0. Manchester City had 2 shots on Tiger, Atletico Madrid had 0. Manchester City had 9 corners, Atletico Madrid had 0. I think they had 0 touches in the box. Had 29% possession.
Right.
But what do you guys expect? This is Diego Simeone.
Exactly,
seriously,
James.
Jack, we've seen this for about 9 years now.
Yep.
This is the way he approaches games. I don't care what Atletico Madrid team is, they were always going to do this. And yes, granted, it wasn't great, but they give themselves a chance in the second leg. Now, do I think Manchester City are going to win? Yeah, because overall, for me, they have a better team. But we know what Manchester City can do to teams. We know what they did in the last leg against Porto against Sport Lisbon when it was 5-0. Diego Simeone wanted to give his team a chance, to bring Manchester City at home, at their place, with a chance to go to a semi-final, and he did that. Hats off to him.
No, right? James, I agree with you.
It is what it is. I get it. It isn't nice.
We can't have Jurgen Klopp against Marcelo Bielsa every week in every single football match, guys. It's not going to happen, okay? Sean Dyches of the world exist. Diego Simeones of the world exist, okay? This is the way football is sometimes played.
Exactly, I get it. Listen, it was a 5-5, They literally packed a triple-decker bus, whatever. Listen, João Felix and Antoine Griezmann there, they weren't able to express themselves. But listen, Diego Simeone isn't playing to please you guys. He's playing to get results. And at the end of the day, again, it isn't a result that he wanted overall, but they'll take that going to the second leg with a chance to go through. But again, Jack, from what I've seen, I do believe that Manchester City have enough to cause this Atletico Madrid problems.
Yes.
And to me, in the second leg, I can see them also going away with a victory. But again,
Jack, it could have been more as well, James. Let's be honest. There was that pullback from Foden. De Bruyne, it was a bit of a weak shot in the box there, where I thought Foden and Bernardo Silva played fantastically well, but it could have been more. But yeah, fair play to Atletico Madrid. Like you say, they have a chance next week.
Definitely. Now, let's talk about today's game. Well, by the time this comes out, it won't be today's game, but Wednesday's game. Villarreal against Bayern Munich. And Jack, we both sat here, and when I was editing the video, I realized that we spoke about the Bayern Munich Villarreal game the longest, because there was so many different dynamics,
right?
To this game, and we questioned that. Yes, it is Bayern Munich, but this won't be easy. The Bayern are going to go through. They're going to go through by the skin of their teeth. And Jack, it's almost like that's what we've just seen. Now, I usually let Jack go, but I'm going to just give my quick opinion on this game. Jack, Villarreal should come out of this game. Yes, they won 1-0, and it's great, but they should come out of here very, very, very disappointed. They could have been out of sight, Jack. Chances after chances after chances. Meunier, listen, so many chances. They hit the post. A shot from the halfway line that nearly went in. Francis Coquelin scored a goal that was offside. They created so many opportunities, last-ditch tackles, and for them just to come in with a 1-0 victory, it's mad to say that against Bayern Munich, but they should be very, very disappointed, Jack.
Well, James, they had to win this game. There's no end about it, and you can say, well, that was unlikely. I've been saying this the whole time. Unai Emery teams, these kinds of football teams, they play up or down to the level of competition. And in all credit and fairness to them, they went toe-to-toe with Bayern tonight. Yeah, okay, the shot conversion wasn't there, but again, you don't have Robert Lewandowski playing for Villarreal. Of course, they had 12 shots and only one of them was on target. You know, that's always going to be the way when you're a team like Villarreal. But James, they did what they needed to do. They won the game. All of the pressure now is on Bayern. And yeah, okay, it's going to be at the Allianz Arena. And yeah, okay, it's Lewandowski still, and it's all these great kind of big names and these quality players, right? And yeah, we saw Alphonso Davies come back. I think he's a game changer when he's firing on all cylinders, even from the fullback position. But yeah, James, like you said, this team is plucky. It's never going to be pretty. They're never going to blow teams out, but you have to beat them. You have to beat them because they won't just step aside and allow you to, similar to Atletico Madrid in many ways. They're not going to allow you to just push them over.
I think the one thing that's going to be disappointing for Villarreal is that they played so well. And Jack, to me, they should be through.
Right.
But they are where they are right now. They're going to go to Allianz Arena, Jack, and I just like, as great as they played, I can see another RB Leipzig situation going on here where they get to the Allianz Arena and Bayern Munich just overwhelm them, and we're hearing that, and we're hearing that song ring over and over again while Muller is in the middle of the penalty area, just arms out in the air. It's annoying because Jack, they were absolutely amazing, and it just shows you like this Unai Emery team. Like again, I was thinking about it from me being an Arsenal fan, like what we did to him and everything like that. Listen, like let me leave that. But he just showed you that his European teams are very, very hard to beat. But again, they got a mountain to climb in the second leg too, because if they can somehow get a victory in the Allianz Arena, Jack, and I'll tell you this right now, they get a victory. Let's just say they get Liverpool in the next round, Jack. That's not a gimme. That just won't be
James,
for Liverpool.
I hear you. It's again, they're going to frustrate. This is what these kinds of teams do. And yeah, you're right. They're not going to win at the Allianz Arena, but it will be a 0-0 draw. That's the way they're going to have to go through. They had to win this first game. And James, objective 1 completed. They did it. Even if it's 1 goal, it's all they need, because all they have to do is just keep it together for the rest of the game. And yeah, Unai Emery, this is one of the best cup competition football managers in this generation. I don't think that that's too much of a hot take to say. I'd put Unai Emery's cup competition record, especially for the quality of team that he's had to work with and what he's then achieved, it's better than most.
But Jack, the one final that he ended up losing was the one that I didn't want him to lose the most. But let me not talk about it. Let me not talk about my own problems right now. Let's get on to the last game, the big game, the main event. Chelsea versus Real Madrid, and oh boy, that lived up to the billing. Both teams went at it, and Jack, the one thing I'm going to tell you this is that when I'm wrong, I'm willing to say I'm wrong, and I'm willing to own up.
You have to,
and
right?
I'm willing to own up to my wrongs. And now I said that Real Madrid's biggest thing was Carlo Ancelotti and him, let's say, deciding to play Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric, and them being overwhelmed by Chelsea.
And Valverde was in there too, though. He was in there too.
But I criticized them. I didn't think that they were able to compete with Chelsea. But they just showed, Jack, that, how much do I know about football? And that's not much right now. Real Madrid were absolutely stunning in 90 minutes of football, especially in that first half. To me, their transition, and also we'll get to Benzema, but Vinicius Jr., Jack, the way this guy's coming of age is just,
he's a star.
And I get it.
Yep.
He didn't score, but I see just these moments of these glimpses of genius where he's taking on the player, he's finding the cross, he's beating players, he's giving players absolutely a hard time. I think Christian had to come off because he was just sick of looking at Vinicius.
Basically.
I felt they were just absolutely brilliant. But Jack, what did you take from the game?
Quality. Karim Benzema is unbelievable, and he's getting better, and he's getting better. It's weird. We're getting to this stage now where we really are redefining, the striker position in terms of quality of players with the age. There's a lot less running. It feels like to me from a striker position. I'd say defensively there's probably more running, but in an offensive sense, I feel still like there's a little bit less running happening right now. So
I see what you're talking about. Like less strikers running the channels and more
right
to feet.
Yes, right. And that's becoming more of a thing, which does allow these guys to play later. But and James, I mean, their two headers are just fantastic. And guys, I can't say this enough, and I've said this on this channel a bunch of times. Heading the football is really hard. It's so hard. One of my pet peeves in football is a commentator going, "Oh, he should be burying that," and it's one of these kind of side headers where you're not going back across goal.
But Jack, let's be honest. Lukaku should have buried his one.
Lukaku, okay, fine. But my point is, heading the ball is a very, very hard skill. Both of Benzema's goals are not easy goals to score with your head, and you need to be the quality of somebody like Karim Benzema to do that. I'll say, look, I didn't think that Chelsea would fall foul of the kind of mistakes that PSG did, and Edu Mendy did not cover himself in glory. He didn't. That's a shame. But what I will say, James, my feeling of the whole tie solely rested on that one mistake from Edu Mendy. Because seriously, 2 goals down very quickly, right? You start to get a bit worried if you're a Chelsea fan. If you're rooting for Chelsea, the moment that Havertz goal goes in, you kind of think, I think Chelsea have got this in the bag. The Mendy mistake, it just felt like the air left the team, the air left the stadium. They went, you know what? I'm so over this. That's the big difference maker in terms of the whole tie, in my opinion. I'm not gonna say that Eduard Mendy is the reason why, that Chelsea might go out here, but that was a really, really big goal in that tie. And look, James, the other thing I don't think we can mention, we can go without mentioning here. Chelsea had 20 shots, 20. 5 of them were on target. As conversion rates go, we know that is nowhere near. And we mentioned this in our predictions, James. Chelsea, like this or not, Chelsea fans, you do not have the star power that you once had. The guys who have a little bit of quality to make the difference, like Real Madrid have in Karim Benzema and Vinicius Jr.
Jack, let me just mention something right now, and I think that it's weird to mention, but it plays a big factor. The international break might have been something that has helped another team and also hindered another team. While Chelsea were on this great run, where they were they were winning all the games since the whole debacle with Roman Abramovich. After the international break, an unrecognizable Chelsea loses 4-1 at Stamford Bridge to Brentford. You're thinking, what the hell's going on? Yep. Real Madrid also came off a 4-0 battering to Barcelona. It's a thing where all the clubs in disarray, all sort of stuff there, and then they get the break. They get the players back, and one team seems to come up with the goods, while the other team right now don't know where they are right now. I think it's very interesting to mention Thomas Tuchel. I think after the game was talking about his press conference, and he mentioned the fact how his team hasn't came back the same since the international break, and they were asking, is the tie over? And it's almost like he kind of said, as it stands right now, where my squad is at right now, yes, it is over, and it just shows you like.
Tell me who in that Chelsea squad is going to puff their chest out and win a game at the Bernabeu.
To me, that's a big,
because I don't see a single player. I'm sorry, Chelsea fans. I don't see that guy. It should be Romelu Lukaku, but for whatever reason, it's not.
But Jack, to me, that's the craziest thing for me is that I remember when we were doing the analysis of this game, I said Chelsea are going to batter Real Madrid, and not by the scoreline, because I could see like a 2-0 win or something like that. If it got into a thing where it was a shootout, who can score the most goals? I don't back Chelsea. Because, Jack, I don't get it twisted. Kai Havertz is coming into his own. I'm seeing
Good player,
I'm seeing the moments of quality. His movement, like all sorts from him right now. But
his goal was nice too, we should say.
His goal was great. But overall, the quality in front of goal, Jack, isn't great. No. It isn't something that's going to make you think like, oh, this could blow you away. The fact that we're mentioning Rudiger scoring goals, Thiago Silva, Reece James, Chilwell when he was fit, chipping in with goals. That's what that's what we were talking about. And we're asking ourselves offensively, where is it going to come from? And now, if they want to get into a shootout with Real Madrid's attackers against Chelsea attackers, it's not a contest at this moment of time. And maybe Real Madrid's goals come from one man, Jack. But it just shows you.
If you can't stop the man, I don't see the point. I mean, teams in La Liga will tell you, I'm sure, that they tried to stop 2 men for over a decade and they didn't find out a way to do that either. So seriously, even if it is just one guy delivering the goals, as long as they go in, it's fine. Look, Chelsea are in trouble. I really do think they are, because I think that when they go to the Bernabeu, I like Christian Pulisic in general, but there's no cutting edge there. There's no overall quality there. People talk about, Hakim Ziyech and the wand of the left foot because they saw one video on Twitter of him making a pass. I don't think Hakim Ziyech is the real deal. I don't think he possesses great quality. Callum Hudson-Odoi. I mean, I'm trying to just think of some other players they've got out wide, like even a Timo Werner. Mason Mount.
I feel like again, Mason Mount does have it, but again, he's not quite that cutting edge,
right?
Like consistently.
Right, they're kind of tweeners, is what you'd call them. It's kind of between positions. It's not quite the cutting edge you'd want. And again, your flagship guy, the guy who's supposed to be really leading this and driving this forward, is a guy who doesn't want to be there. Is a guy who's had a public relations nightmare over the course of this season in Romelu Lukaku. And again, you question why he was brought back to not play in a system that was going to suit him like he was at Inter. And I do not see Romelu Lukaku reclaiming some Inter Milan form back at the Santiago Bernabeu while they also have a 2-goal lead. So to me, the tie's over. And it's a bold statement. But I think the Real Madrid are through here. You can't go to Stamford Bridge and go back to the Bernabeu with a 2-goal lead and then not be a heavy favourite going through.
To me, I feel like, and this is probably the last bit for this video, but I feel like the biggest thing in that game was when Lukaku missed that opportunity. Yes, 3-2 Jack, and everything is still in the balance. You telling me Chelsea can't go there and like a win away from home? They can. But
yes,
with that, to me, with that chance missed right now, and you trying to tell me Real Madrid don't have the ability to score at the Bernabeu, it's going to be tough for them. But guys, we've reviewed all 4 games right now. A lot of them still in balance. The Bayern Munich game, the Bayern Munich Villarreal game in balance. The Man City Atlético Madrid game in the balance, and then you got 2 games, Chelsea versus Real Madrid, where to me it's kind of still in balance, and then Liverpool going back home to Anfield against Benfica.
At least we watch one game each night, which we know which game we're going to be watching. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of good.
Exactly. But guys, tell me what you think. Liverpool fans, Real Madrid fans, Chelsea fans, Man City fans, Bayern Munich fans, Benfica fans. Guys, comment down below. Let us know what you think. Is your team going to go through? And who's going to win the Champions League? Let us know. Comments down below. This is Box to Box Football. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.